الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. We begin by praising and thanking Allah, the Majestic, the Supreme, declaring His oneness, declaring His greatness, declaring that none has the right to be worshipped except for Him alone, seeking guidance from Allah Azza wa Jal, as well as seeking protection with Him from our sins and from the consequences of our sinning. O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah. Be balanced in the way that you live life by living conscious of Allah, and be sure that you do not die except that you are Muslims truly in submission to Him. O humanity, have taqwa of Allah, your Lord, who created you from a single person, Adam, and from Adam his wife Hawa alayhi salatu wasalam, and from the two of them, the human race that is scattered all throughout the earth. And be sure to have taqwa of Allah, whose name you make demands and requests of each other, and be sure that you also keep your family ties. For Allah certainly observes you from above. O you who believe, have taqwa of Allah and always speak the truth. Doing so will make your deeds wholesome, thereby earning their acceptance as well as forgiveness from Allah. And whoever lives life in obedience to Allah Azza wa Jalla and His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and dies in that state, they have truly won. Brothers and sisters, I'm sure that all of us in some way, shape or form are aware of the news, and to be more specific, what's happening in Syria. And so we'd like today to, inshallah, just briefly focus a little bit on Syria, or if we can make it a bit more inclusive and say Sham. That whole section and region of what we hope that bidnillah with today's khutbah we'll be able to learn a bit more, and inshallah hopefully be able to do a little something more for them. Let us understand that the region itself is a blessed land. It is a land that is blessed, that Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us in Surah Al-Isra, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله. Blessed is Allah who has caused His slave, His servant, to travel by night from the sacred mosque of Mecca to the further mosque, or the furthest mosque, which is in Al-Bayt al-Maqdis, or in Jerusalem, which He has blessed and all that surrounds it. So that area as a whole is an area that is blessed, and the Prophet ﷺ, he further clarifies that for us. He affirms it. We know that Allah Jalla wa Ala sent so many a prophet to Banu Israel. Their leadership was in their prophets. As the Prophet ﷺ tells us that every time one of the prophets would die, there would be another prophet to take his place to continue leading the children of Israel. And so that is Ard al-Anbiya, as it's known, the land of prophets. And the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he made dua, as is authentically collected in Al-Bukhari. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allahumma barik lana fi shamina wa yamanina. He made this dua saying, Oh Allah, bless us in what you have of our Sham and of our Yemen. He made dua for those two regions. And if He made dua for those places, those regions, it is for the land as well as the people, the good people that are there. We also have another hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, where he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, عَلَيْكُمْ بِالشَّامِ فَإِنَّهَا صَفَّةُ بِلَادِ اللَّهِ يسكنها خيرته من خلقه فمن أبى فليلحق بيمننا أو بيمنه فإن الله عز وجل تكفل لي بالشام وأهله. And this hadith that is authentic in Sahih al-Jami', the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, speaking to his companions ridwanullahi alayhim and speaking to his ummah, says, I command you regarding Sham, that region of what we know to be of Syria, of Palestine, of Jordan, of Lebanon. And why? He says, because it is the best of Allah's earth. And actually we understand that, meaning after Mecca and Medina. It is the best of Allah's earth, and the best of creation lives there. But whoever doesn't go there, because Allah has assured me that He is overseeing Sham and its people. This is actually one of the ahadith that's mentioned with regards to the end of days, of the turmoil that will be seen on earth. And the Prophet ﷺ is telling the believers where to go and what to do. And that in essence He's telling them, go to Sham. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he even states, لا تزال طائفة من أمتي ظاهرين على الحق لا يضرهم من خذلهم حتى يأتي أمر الله وهم على ذلك. He says that there will always remain a group of my ummah that will be prominent upon the truth. They will not be harmed by anybody who betrays them. And they will remain as such until the command of Allah comes. Prophet ﷺ was asked, where is that? He said, Bisham. Perhaps what we're seeing of all of these things that are taking place at the global level, perhaps these are something of the precursor of things to come. And it helps us, and it should help us, to have insight and guidance from the Quran and Sunnah. And to realize as an ummah of believers where we fit into the picture of this. Look, any of you who are watching videos, reading the news, you can see some of this stuff and be really overwhelmed. And perhaps for men, where we see something of this, we may even become a bit enraged because we may feel that we need to do something more. But I tell you, listen, never fear or doubt anything of what Allah tells us, subhanahu, or His Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The promise of Allah is absolutely certain. And so if the question is, well, why? It's to help us understand that there's our side that needs to still meet the required criteria with Allah. What does Allah Azza wa Jal tell us, brothers and sisters? Let's listen to some ayat. He says, Jalla wa ala, إِنَّا لَنَنْصُرُ رُسُلَنَا وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَيَوْمَ يَقُومُ الْأَشْهَادُ. Indeed, we will support and give victory to our messengers and those who believe during the life of this world and on the day of witnessing when all will stand. So Allah's promise is there for us in this dunya as well as in the akhirah, in the hereafter. And He also said, Jalla wa ala, and this is to further console the believers, أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ مَسَّتْهُمُ الْبَأْسَاءُ وَالضَّرَّاءُ وَزُلْزِلُوا حَتَّى يَقُولَ الرَّسُولُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ مَتَى نَصْرُ اللَّهِ. This is perhaps the question that's being asked, or if not asked, that's on the minds and hearts of millions. مَتَى نَصْرُ اللَّهِ أَلَا إِنَّ نَصْرَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ. Or do you think that you will enter paradise, that you will enter Jannah, while some trials have not yet come to you as came to those who came before you? They were touched with poverty, or by poverty and hardship, and they were severely shaken, such that even the messenger and those who believed with him, they asked, when is the help of Allah coming? This is that question. Mata Nasrullah. When will the help of Allah come? Allah says, undoubtedly the help of Allah is near. And wallahi, we have seen this. We have seen tyrannical regimes, walhamdulillah, topple over like dominoes. And it's just a matter of time, and inshallah, Syria and anywhere else in the world where there are evil people where there are dictators that are cruel and unjust, that they will all topple like dominoes. Allahumma ameen. It is a test. And part of that test is what Allah Azza wa Jalla says, أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ وَلَمَّا يَعْلَمِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا مِنكُمْ وَيَعْلَمَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Or do you think that you will enter paradise while Allah has not yet made evident those of you who will fight in His cause, and made evident those who are steadfast? This is really, in essence, a time that Allah Jalla wa Ala will prove what's within the hearts of people by the way that they're going to respond to these tribulations. So, رُبَّ ضَرٍّ نَافِعٍ. It's very possible that something which is harmful can also bring about good. When it exposes who's really who and what's what. When you think that people who are your neighbors, or you think that subhanAllah you have a good neighborly relationship, that all of a sudden they become predators. And they go ahead and massacre a whole family. Why? Because they're of a different belief. That with regards to Islam, they're of a different following. That the groups that are there, that they are attacking people of Ahli Sunnati wal Jama'ah. SubhanAllah. It also shows with regards to Ahli Sunnah, the people who are following the Kitab of Allah Azza wa Jal and the Sunnah of His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, following in the footsteps of the Sahaba Ridwanullahi Alayhi, because they're not all one and the same either. Who from them is going to be ظاهرين على الحق, that are going to be clearly upon the truth, not worried about anyone or anything. It's going to show the quality of the true believer in those that are of the other categories. So ultimately, it is an awful fitna that Syria and what other countries have gone through, and what is going to still take place of what's in Allah's knowledge in the future. It is a testing period. And the believers have one obligation, and it is to remain true to Allah Jalla wa Ala upon Islam, so that Allah's promise will also remain true for them. And we need to bear this in mind, because Allah Jalla wa Ala, He never goes back on what He promises. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد. ألا وإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله سبحانه وخير الهدى هدى رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. I remind you, brothers and sisters, that the book of Allah, the Quran, is perfect. It is pure, that it is the best of what remains of Allah's revelation, that there is no competition. And when it comes to role models and leaders and examples, there is none better than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, especially if we're talking about the understanding and application of the Quran. The best of Allah's servants. And let's understand that the worst of things in Islam are newly invented things in the religion that take you away from Allah Azza wa Jalla and His Messenger, that take you away from the Quran and Sunnah. And those bid'ahs, they lead astray, and the road astray leads to disaster in this dunya as well as hell in the hereafter. Allah protect us from all of these things. Allahumma ameen. Some of these statistics with regards to this humanitarian crisis in Syria are as follows. There's approximately about 9,000 people that have been killed, and these are, Allahu A'lam, how accurate these statistics are, because when you hear some of the other stuff that comes, it'll only be known afterwards. Aftermath of really how many people have been killed. Of this, they're saying about 600 children, about 500 women, over 35,000 that are injured. But when you think about 65,000 missing that nobody knows where they are, they're unaccounted for, Allahu A'lam, how many of them may also be from those that have been killed. And they say over 200,000 that have been arrested. And Allahu A'lam, how many of them have also been killed. Subhanallah, the cruelty of what humans can sometimes manifest, it is beyond belief. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, it should make no difference whether we're saying Muslim, non-Muslim. To kill somebody, a child, that is absolutely unacceptable regardless. Women, elderly, to go in and massacre a whole family, to burn them alive. These types of crimes are things that in no way can Islamically be condoned, nor can anyone who has a sound mind and a healthy heart ever condone any of this. And yet to see that shaitan, la'natullahi alayhi, Allah's curse upon him, Allah keep him away from us, how time and time again he is able to cause people to stoop to the lowest of what can possibly be low. In all different lands of the continents. Refugees in quantities that are way over the 20,000s. Just in Turkey there's easily over 10,000. Lebanon almost another 10,000. In Jordan about 5,000. I've never been a refugee, so I can't imagine what it's like, but those of you who have perhaps made Hajj and got a chance to live for about 4 or 5 days in tents, not having the comforts of your own home, having to share toilets and this and that and so on and so forth, I would like to maybe, in a very humble way, look at something like that and say, I can imagine that being a refugee has got to be that to the nth degree. Now add your family into the picture. Imagine fleeing because you have nothing that you can defend yourself with. Going out there peacefully protesting in a way that others have done has been met with a bloodbath. And it's unfortunate for whatever reasons that the aid did not come in. Not from the non-Muslims, but I really want to say that it should be there from the Muslims. These are those opportunities that Allah can really help make clear among the ummah who the men are, who the true believing men are. And it is opportunities like this that those who consider themselves to be leaders within the ummah, that they can seize these opportunities for La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah to do the right thing. Regardless of what international politics and things of this sort may be. Because to sit by and watch when you have the ability to prevent, to minimize, to help, everyone's going to have to stand before Allah Azza wa Jalla and answer. But those in those positions, Allahu Musta'an. And so we, here in Rockford, and from the surrounding area, we have a role in this. I remind you of what the Prophet ﷺ so beautifully taught us when he said ﷺ, مَثَلُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ فِي تَوَادِّهِمْ وَتَرَاحُمِهِمْ وَتَعَاطُفِهِمْ كَمَثَلِ الْجَسَدِ الْوَاحِدِ إِذَا اشْتَكَى مِنْهُ عُضْوٌ تَدَاعَى لَهُ سَائِرُ الْجَسَدِ بِالسَّهْرِ وَالْحُمَّةِ. This hadith that's in Bukhari and Muslim, he ﷺ tells us that the likeness of the believers in their mutual love, mercy, and compassion and kindness is like the human body. It's like the human body. If a body part complains that it is afflicted with something of an illness, the rest of the body reacts with sleeplessness and fever to help heal it. We have to feel that we are one ummah, and to do what we can to be a part of the solution, a part of the healing. And so, of the things that we can do, definitely to make dua. And while we're making dua for our brothers and sisters in Syria, I remind myself and you not to forget the rest of the ummah. Egypt, the Horn of Africa, as I'm being reminded time and time again, where millions are on the verge of starving to death. To make dua, but also to financially help. And today, inshaAllah Azza wa Jal, the Council of Chicago has asked that all of the masajid in Illinois together focus on trying to bring attention to this issue in Syria, and then to also ask for financial support. And so after the salah, inshaAllah, there's going to be a sheet in the back there for the brothers to give, and also for the sisters in the back to donate help, so that Allah Azza wa Jal will also be there to help us and to help you in a time of need. Allahumma salli wa sallim mubarak ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Allahumma salli wa sallim mubarak alayhi wa ala alihi وصحبه وجميع من اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. اللهم أعز الإسلام وانصر المسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام وانصر المسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام وانصر المسلمين. اللهم عليك بأعداء الدين. اللهم عليك بأعداء الدين. اللهم عليك بأعداء الدين. اللهم خذهم أخذ عزيز مقتدر. اللهم خذهم أخذ عزيز مقتدر. اللهم خذهم أخذ عزيز مقتدر. اللهم اضرب الظالمين بالظالمين، وأخرج عبادك المستضعفين من بينهم سالمين غانمين. اللهم رد كيد الأعداء في نحورهم. اللهم رد كيد الأعداء في نحورهم. اللهم رد كيد الأعداء في نحورهم. اللهم اخرج عبادك المستضعفين سالمين غانمين في كل مكان وزمان. اللهم ثبتهم وإيانا بالقول الثابت. اللهم افرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مؤمنين. Ya Allah, we ask you that you grant dignity and strength to Islam and the Muslims. Ya Allah, we ask you that you help our brothers and sisters that are being severely tested and tried throughout the lands. Ya Allah, we ask you that you protect them and that you grant them a speedy success and victory. Ya Allah, we ask you that you place the best of them in positions of leadership and guidance for them. Ya Allah, and that you close all avenues for those who are evil and harmful to have access. Ya Allah, we ask you, Ya Rabbil Alameen, the same for even the non-Muslims. Ya Allah, do not allow for those who are evil tyrants to have any ability over the people. Ya Allah, we ask you that you help bring relief to those of them that are struggling and going through hard times. Ya Allah, accept from them those that have passed away as martyrs. Ya Allah, bless with the complete and speedy recovery those of them that are injured and sick. Ya Allah, provide for them of food and of medicine and of shelter and all that they need, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, and also for those of them that are in Africa and in different areas that are starving, Ya Rabb. Ya Allah, and also for those that are buried beneath the snow throughout Europe in different areas. Ya Allah, help us to see these as signs from you. Ya Allah, help us to wake up from the childishness and immaturity of so many things that still preoccupy us. Ya Allah, help us to truly fear you as you deserve to be feared. Ya Allah, help us to truly be guided and make sure that we are guided by truly living as the Messenger did sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya Allah, help us to be a source of healing and goodness wherever we may be. Ya Allah, help us to stomp on our pride and on our prejudices and on our own needs and problems. Ya Allah, help us to truly be the slaves and servants that we need to be. Ya Allah, we ask you that you also heal the mother of Khalid Siddiqi, sister Mahr Nisa, as well as brother Ilyas's mother Aqil Nu'mani. Ya Allah, heal them with a complete and speedy recovery. Ya Allah, help make their illness easy for them. Ya Allah, and if you decree for them and for any of us that our time has come, we ask you that you bless us to die with a good sweet ending, that you have forgiven us, that your mercy is there for us, and that we have nothing of punishment to be worried about, that we only have your mercy in paradise to look forward to. And we ask you, lastly, Ya Rabbil Alameen, that our brother Muhammad al-Qadi, that you bless him and his family on their new baby boy Mus'ab. Allahumma ameen. Wa qumi ila salatikum yarhamni yarhamkumullah.